Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Carroll in for Maya Trabulsi. The San Diego City Council today voted to establish an affordable housing preservation fund. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says it's backed by fees paid by developers.
The Preservation Fund will help to pay for rehabilitating aging affordable housing projects and to keep the rents affordable for a longer period of time. Thousands of San Diegans who live in affordable housing are at risk of losing their homes as the affordability restrictions on their housing expire. Councilmember Sean Ela Rivera said the fund will help keep vulnerable people in their homes.
There's a lot of conversations about maintaining community character, as community character being something that needs to be preserved. And community character comes from people. And we protect people by preserving affordable housing.
The council voted to allocate $5.9 million to the Preservation Fund for the fiscal year that starts on July 1st. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
Overnight, we're dropping down to the mid-60s. This probably looks pretty familiar because it's about what we've seen for the last week, but we do have some changes this week. We're trending cooler. We're comfortable, really, even heading into the July 4th holiday. We'll take a look at the week ahead and an early peek at Independence Day coming up.
An oppressive heat dome is set to hover over the eastern portion of the U.S. this week as Americans prepare to celebrate the 4th of July. And holiday traditions have already been disrupted by fires in the West. Maddie Gannon reports.
Millions of Americans Monday are bracing for a scorching week as days of blistering heat and humidity are expected to fall over the eastern half of the U.S. and stick around for the holiday weekend.
We have an extreme heat warning that we've issued that goes into effect today. We have 3 consecutive days where it reaches 100 to 105 or potentially greater. The heat index value overnight will probably only dip below the 90-degree mark for 6 to maybe 8 hours overnight.
Major cities like New York, Washington, Atlanta, and Nashville could see feels-like temperatures at and above 100 degrees starting Monday through the 4th of July. Officials are urging caution as people prepare for a weekend of celebrations outdoors, where they could be exposed to the dangerous heat for longer periods of time.
Self-awareness is huge when it comes to knowing when to call 911 or not. If you don't feel comfortable getting yourself up to a hospital, by all means, we're here to serve the community, so call us.
Meanwhile, authorities in several western states have banned or limited fireworks for the holiday due to ongoing wildfires. This man in the Lake County, Colorado area described watching a fire blaze from across a lake.
We figured we'd pack up and then we got a text, emergency evacuation, so yeah, we are packed up. Less than an hour later, fastest pack up ever.
Maddie Gannon, KPBS News.
A new report says 23 Californians die every day from exposure to pollution caused by vehicles. KPBS environment reporter Tammy Murga has more on what that looks like in San Diego County.
The study shows every day one San Diego County resident dies from vehicle pollution, and roughly 1 new pediatric asthma case emerges. Statewide, that's about 8,000 premature deaths and more than 5,000 new pediatric asthma cases every year.
That's not surprising because California is home to some of the country's most dangerous transportation pollution hotspots.
In San Diego, transportation is the largest source of fossil fuel emissions. Josh Miller is with the International Council on Clean Transportation. He says medium and heavy-duty vehicles like 18-wheelers and large box trucks are the top emitters.
is San Diego County also has the 5th highest number of warehouses among counties in California. So there is a very clear connection between the freight infrastructure and activity and the health burden that we're seeing.
Researchers say vehicle pollution hits hardest in neighborhoods with busy roads,
which is also why kids living near freeways and free hubs might end up carrying so much of this asthma burden.
The study argues deaths linked to vehicle pollution should gradually decline. That's as zero-emission vehicles become more widespread. Miller says greater health benefits will depend on how fast the transition happens.
The key questions are really how quickly can we electrify, and especially how quickly can we electrify trucks? That those are really a disproportionate contributor to air pollution.
He says consumers should also consider going electric when shopping for their next car. Tammy Murga, KPBS News.
The former official who oversaw San Diego County's animal shelters has filed a lawsuit against the county. KPBS's Scott Rodd reports the lawsuit alleges defamation, whistleblower retaliation, and sexual harassment.
Former Animal Services Assistant Director Rachel Borelli was put on administrative leave last fall. This happened the day before KPBS reported on a profane voice message Borelli had sent that disparaged shelter dogs and called for increasing euthanasias. The county then fired her in January. Now, Borelli claims that firing was an act of retaliation. In her lawsuit, Borelli alleges an employee had spread false rumors about her, specifically that she was only hired after having a sexual relationship with a previous department director. According to her lawsuit, Borelli complained about the employee's conduct to Human Resources, but she was told to drop the matter. She claims the county failed to adequately investigate her complaint and discipline the employee. The county declined to comment on the litigation. The Department of Animal Services has faced growing scrutiny in the last year after a KPBS investigation found the department saw a spike in dog euthanasias and struggled with staffing problems. Scott Rodd, KPBS News.
If you have a tip for the KPBS investigations team, you can send an email to investigations@kpbs.org or message them on our secure signal line. That number is on your screen, 619-594-8177.
I'm Jeff Bennett. Tonight on the NewsHour, the U.S. Supreme Court hands down sweeping rulings on presidential authority and election law. That's at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
Immigration is taking center stage at the Supreme Court. Last week, the court issued rulings on asylum and temporary protected status. This week, the court will issue its ruling on a birthright citizenship case. KPBS reporter Gustavo Solis explains the impact.
The Supreme Court ruled last week that the Trump administration can turn back asylum seekers at ports of entry along the border. Melissa Crow is the director of litigation at the Center for Gender and Refugee Studies. She's been fighting this practice ever since it surfaced in San Diego more than a decade ago.
When, for the first time ever, Customs and Border Protection officers started turning back asylum seekers at ports of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border.
Crow and her legal team won a federal district court case during the first Trump term and again at the appellate court during the Biden administration. But the Supreme Court decision reverses those victories. The High Court also eliminated protections for Haitians and Syrian nationals who have temporary protected status because of the dangerous conditions in their home countries.
I think both of these decisions, which were 6-3, show that the court really doesn't care that much about non-citizens, no matter how long they have been there and regardless of their ties to the country. They also don't particularly care, it appears, about our legal obligations, either domestic or internationally.
Next up is a ruling on Trump's efforts to end birthright citizenship. Crow notes that the birthright issue is a constitutional case, which makes it very different from the two other immigration-related cases. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
The Supreme Court says it will issue its last decisions of this term tomorrow. As you just heard, birthright citizenship is one of the cases. There are also decisions coming on 2 cases about transgender athletes and one about campaign finance. NPR will provide special coverage starting at 7 tomorrow morning. You can hear it on 89.5 KPBS FM. Another issue the Supreme Court tackled, voting by mail. The court ruled today that states can count ballots that arrive after Election Day. Local election officials say they've received thousands of ballots that were mailed in by Election Day but arrived late for the primaries. California Secretary of State Shirley Weber called the decision a victory for voters.
This assures people that if I put my ballot in the mail and it gets postmarked, that it will be counted in California. And even the Postal Service recognized that it could not guarantee things that were postmarked on the day of the election actually getting to us in time. That's why we have the 7-day rule, because we had some areas where people would mail their ballots and the normal route for Postal Services go from California to Oregon and back to California.
Opponents of this law have argued that there should be stricter election deadlines to help protect voter confidence in the process. Election officials say they will keep working to educate voters and make sure they understand the rules before Election Day. Tens of millions of Americans are predicted to travel during the 4th of July holiday period, with many hitting the roads. Drivers will enjoy falling gas prices, but as festivities kick off across the nation this week, millions will face dangerous heat that's likely to break records. Michael Yoshida has tips on how to handle busy roadways and high temps.
Holiday travel is expected to set a record this week as the nation marks its 250th anniversary, and while drivers will get that welcome sight of cooling gas prices, millions will see rising temps as they celebrate the 4th.
A record 72.2 million Americans are expected to travel for 4th of July week, according to AAA, with more than 61 million driving to their destinations.
The heat is coming down on gas prices across the country. Virtually everyone's seeing gas prices drop in the last several weeks. The national average now declining 7 straight weeks.
A welcome sight, but rising costs are still having an impact.
Americans today are still going to be spending $250 million more on gasoline than they did a year ago.
Some suggestions from AAA on how to offset higher costs include cutting back on extras like eating out and souvenirs, taking advantage of vacation packages and all-inclusive options where costs are more defined, and choosing destinations closer to home and shortening trips.
It's going to be the second most expensive July 4th we've ever recorded at Gas Buddy, still under 2022's peak when prices were well above $4, but indeed still a perilous record of the second most expensive July 4th.
Beyond travel expenses, dangerously high temperatures will also impact millions this 4th of July.
We are tracking a multi-day heat wave. This has the potential to have triple-digit temperatures, which may break records.
From the mid-Atlantic to East Coast, several days and nights of heat and humidity will be a concern as people attend parades, cookouts, sporting events, and fireworks.
Drink lots of water, even if you don't feel thirsty. Take breaks in the shade or in the air conditioning, and check on your neighbors, loved ones, and pets.
And when you talk about the potential scope and impact of this heat wave, more than 100 daily record highs could be tied or broken during this stretch of extreme weather. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
The trend of falling gas prices applies to San Diego County as well. Here's a quick look at local gas prices today. The average cost of a gallon of regular gas is $5.52. That's 0.4 cents less than it was yesterday, and it marks the 37th price drop in 38 days. And while that still sounds high, the price is 10.5 cents less than it was 1 week ago, and 57 cents less than this time last month. Have you ever wondered how gas prices are determined or why they change so frequently? Well, gas prices move up and down in response to disruptions in supply and spikes in demand. Many global events such as wars, sanctions, and world politics can create uncertainty about the oil supply. Luke Garrett explains.
Gas prices move up and down in response to disruptions in supply and spikes in demand. Disruptions can include global events, while spikes in demand can include things like summer vacation seasons when more people are driving. Many different global events, such as conflicts, sanctions, or decisions by major oil-producing countries, can limit or create uncertainty about the supply of oil. This pushes up the prices worldwide. The impact is felt quickly at the pump and can last if the disruption continues. Prices typically rise faster in response to sudden disruptions in supply than they fall once those disruptions are over. This trend is so common that economists refer to it as the rockets and feathers phenomenon, where prices shoot up like a rocket but come down like a feather. One reason is that gas stations typically raise prices quickly when oil gets more expensive, because they expect that their future gas supplies will be more expensive in turn. But they only cut prices when the price they pay for gas eventually starts to go down. Prices can vary country to country and region to region, depending on factors like localised taxes, environmental regulations, and regional market competition. So if your country's government has higher taxes on gas or has put regulations in place in an attempt to limit things like emissions, you'll pay more at the pump. Regionally, if the gas station down the road is selling it cheaper than the other one nearby, it may bring prices down slightly because they'll be competing with each other for customers.
Luke Garrett with that explainer. Across the U.S., celebrations are underway marking a quarter of a millennium since the country declared independence from British rule. But this July also marks another anniversary. 80 years since the U.S. granted independence to a colony of its own, the Philippines. KPBS reporter Corey Suzuki says the decades leading up to that moment and the ones that followed would reshape the world and San Diego.
The year was 1946. For half a century, the U.S. had controlled the island nation. Now it was granting the Philippines independence. U.S. General Douglas MacArthur called it a decades-long promise.
America never wavered in that purpose. America today redeems that pledge.
Of course, the moment was much more complicated than that. But it was, in many ways, a turning point for U.S. immigration policy, for the Filipino diaspora, and for San Diego. The U.S. first took control of the Philippines in the late 1800s. It was part of a peace treaty with Spain, despite the fact that Filipino leaders had declared their independence. In the past, annexations had led to everyone becoming full citizens. But in this case, the U.S. Supreme Court created a new type of status for everyone in the Philippines, U.S. national.
So they weren't citizens, but neither were they aliens. They were nationals, right? So they belonged to the U.S., they owed allegiance to the U.S., but they were not U.S. citizens.
In the 1920s and 30s, young men began moving from the Philippines to places like San Diego for work. Soon, though, they faced a rise in anti-Asian racism. White nationalist leaders started lobbying Congress to ban Filipino people from the country. But it wasn't as easy as they'd hoped, because the Philippines was part of the U.S.
One of the main takeaways for the sort of nativists who are pressing for a kind of ban on Filipino immigration is that as long as the Philippines was a colony of the U.S., Filipinos would have the right to immigrate here. So nativists end up switching gears and deciding to focus their efforts on securing Philippine independence as really the only way to achieve their goal of exclusion.
Of course, Filipino leaders had been pushing for independence for decades, but the effort started to pick up steam in the U.S. because of the anti-immigrant activists. In 1934, they got what they wanted. Congress passed a law called the Tydings-McDuffie Act. It laid out a decade-long pathway to independence, and it immediately put severe restrictions on Filipino people moving to the U.S. World War II upended that plan, though, when Japan attacked the Philippines, and hundreds of thousands of Filipino people signed up to fight under the U.S. flag to liberate the country. After the war, many Navy sailors and their families moved to San Diego, to places like Paradise Hills and National City.
Those that were here then brought wives back and brought family and started families. And that's when the community, I believe, actually started to grow.
In the decades afterwards, Congress ended racial limits on immigration, opening doors for many more Filipino immigrants. Today, San Diego County is home to one of the largest Filipino communities in the country.
It really feels like you can see the movement happening when you trace each decade. People literally coming to the shores and then ending up making the city their own. Like San Diego feels like a very Filipino city to me.
If you want to learn more about this, you can find our full project at kpbs.org.
Well, after our roller coaster the last couple of weeks, though a small roller coaster, our temperatures are staying below historical averages really through the weekend. Things are looking comfortable right into the 4th of July holiday. Now, overnight, we are looking at the potential for some patchy drizzle, so something to keep an eye on. And I'll give you an early look at the Independence Day holiday. First of all, tonight we're at 61 in Borrego Springs. Doesn't that sound nice after temperatures that lows were staying in the 70s, 80s, highs in the triple digits? We'll take it closer to the coast, low 60s and Oceanside 64 for San Diego there. As we look ahead to tomorrow, well, 92 in Borrego Springs, but hey, that is a far cry from the triple digits. Mid 70s to upper 70s, somewhere like Ramona, and then we're in the low 70s along the coast, Chula Vista, San Diego to Oceanside. And it is along the coast that we have that patchy drizzle possible, stopping the clock around 4:30 early on in the morning. It's very hit or miss. It's very much not going to be a major impact, but just something to be aware of that don't want you to be caught off guard by a few raindrops or you head out first thing in the morning and hey, the car's a little wet. As we move forward here with our 5-day outlook along the coast, we are staying very comfortable in this region, but take a look, we warm up a little bit for Saturday, but still 76 for Independence Day. I think that's sounding pretty good for any outdoor activities you have planned, fireworks, things like that. Further inland, we're jumping from the mid to upper 70s to the low 80s by the time we get to Saturday. So we're warming up a little bit, but still staying below to right around in the ballpark of our historical averages, depending on exactly where you are. We stay in the 60s in our mountain regions, but we go 62 Tuesday to 69 Friday to big jump, upper 70s by Saturday, but still, hey, could be a lot worse. Now in our desert regions, I'm sorry, the triple digits, they do return at some point. So Tuesday 92, we start to warm up Wednesday, Thursday, and then by Friday and Saturday, just in time for the 4th of July, we're back into the triple digits. For KPBS News, I'm AccuWeather's Anna Azalian.
Millions of Americans live with knee pain. In fact, researchers estimate that about 25% of all adults frequently have pain around the knees, which can limit mobility and impact their quality of life. Mandy Gaither has more on how to help and maybe even prevent the progression of knee pain.
It's nothing new. Knee pain is one of the most common complaints. In the U.S., about 790,000 total knee replacements are performed every year. And as people get older, that number is expected to get higher.
Now, most times it is due to osteoarthritis in the joint.
It's a degenerative joint disease causing the breakdown of tissues as a person ages. Osteoarthritis not only leads to pain, but joint stiffness, joint movement limitations, and swelling in and around the joint, especially after activity. But research shows you may be able to slow the progression of the pain or even avoid it altogether by strengthening your leg muscles.
Simply put, people who had more leg muscle mass had a lower risk of knee osteoarthritis. Now, that increased muscle mass can sort of protect the knee, taking some of the strain off the joints.
Experts say strength training is the best way to bulk up the muscles in your legs. The CDC recommends older adults get 150 minutes of moderately intense physical activity each week and at least 2 days of muscle strengthening activity each week. The agency says muscles can be strengthened in many ways, including lifting weights, working with resistance bands, using body weight for resistance during exercise like push-ups, or simply doing some gardening work or yoga.
It's important to start strength training slowly, also maintain a healthy body weight, and just keep moving, keep active.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Artemis II launch that sent 4 astronauts into space this spring had everyone watching, but there are plenty of places right here in the U.S. where you can feel like you're traveling to space without ever leaving Earth. Jen Sullivan explains.
Booster ignition and liftoff.
The Artemis II crew captivated the world with their miraculous journey and images from space. If their mission sparked your curiosity about the world beyond our world, there are plenty of places to visit, and you don't need a spaceship to get there.
There is so much excitement around space exploration right now.
Emily Kaufman, known as the Travel Mom, came up with a list of great places to visit that are also family friendly. Our first stop on our journey to space, Merritt Island, Florida, the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex.
Every single day, you can have a meet and greet with a NASA astronaut.
You can even fly with an astronaut on the shuttle launch experience. There are multiple attractions for a wide variety of ages, including a Fraggle Rock character show for toddlers. And if you have an aspiring astronaut in your family, there's a great camp for teens at the Advanced Space Academy in Huntsville, Alabama.
There's a place completely dedicated to getting kids excited about the future of space.
Campers undergo real astronaut training exercises. You have to be 15 to 18 to sign up. Next, take a trip to Texas to see the Space Center Houston.
NASA Houston also has all kinds of immersive programs with a museum and an interactive show.
The museum is great for kids of all ages, and you can even pay extra to have breakfast with an astronaut. Los Angeles is home to the California Science Center, which is getting a major addition. In November, a new 200,000 square foot space center will open. It will feature hands-on exhibits, aerospace objects, and several interactive experiences focused on science and engineering. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. The rise of artificial intelligence has raised concerns about job security and layoffs. On NPR's Morning Edition, we hear from a computer scientist who is shooting the idea down. And on KPBS Midday Edition, we're diving deeper on the topic of birthright citizenship. We'll be joined by UC Berkeley law professor and anthropologist Kiara Bridges. Of course, you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for choosing us and joining us tonight, everyone. I'm John Carroll. Have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.